Hi, welcome to the fifth video on how to deal with online leads. During this video, we're going to go over two different archetypes, the leader and the enabler. As we've seen during our fourth video, there is a lot of do's and don'ts on how to do a great welcome call. But what's interesting is that you can actually hit all of the do's and actually ask all of the right questions during a good welcome call and still not get the desired effect. This happens a lot when you're an enabler. This happens a lot if you worked in the service industry in the past and you really strive to please people and to just do what they want. And paradoxically, despite the fact that you are really trying very hard to please them, it actually is not doing them a favor. So, just to explain the subtlety, I'm not saying that you shouldn't help your client. I am not saying that you shouldn't be there for them, but you should not be an enabler. You have to be a leader and you have to be a real estate authority. And this really starts during your first call. During your first call, it is very important to establish a relationship that you're going to have with your client. If you're a leader, you're going to listen to their problem. You're going to ask, why are they looking to buy? Why are they looking to rent? And understand their purpose. Once you do this, it is up to you as the real estate authority to clearly explain what are the next step and how to move forward. This is absolutely key because remember, they're looking for help. They're turning to a real estate agent because they're looking for direction. They're looking for somebody who is more knowledgeable than them on a particular subject to become an added value. At the opposite level of the spectrum, you have the enabler. The enabler is going to understand all of the purpose of the client, what are the requirements, and then will do whatever the client wants. But there is an issue with that, is that the client has only a frame of context and a frame of perspective that is very limited. They may very well not know what it takes to make a purchase, with the difficulty of finding the perfect property, the speed at which a property tends to go away. So if you're basically just doing what the client wants, you're not becoming an added value because you're not providing them with anything extra. So here's a few case scenarios. When you have a client that says, I want to visit properties on Saturday, send me a recommendation and I'll tell you what is best, what I want to visit, and you just simply say yes. I'm going to show you the property and I'm going to send you a recommendation. Thank you, goodbye. Yes, you have done what they wanted. However, it is most likely not what is best. On the opposite, a leader would say, well, I'm going to send you those recommendations that you've required. We are going to see this property, but as soon as I have sent you the recommendation, I'm going to jump on a call with you and we're going to discuss what are the best things to do on different criteria. So at that point, the leader would send the recommendation, would jump on a call, but even before the call, we'll know how to say, this is a good property, this is a bad property, this is what should be our next step. So subtle differences between who decide what are the next step and what is a rule of the game makes it whether you're becoming an added value to your client or not an added value. Now, we're absolutely here to give a great service. You're here to solve the problem of the client for sure. But becoming an added value by taking the front seat in the relationship, by showing that you have more real estate knowledge and you're going to be able to solve their problem better than they would themselves, is absolutely key. This concludes our fifth video about the archetype over leader and enabler. I hope that you've been able to learn something from this video and that perhaps if you have been an enabler in the past, you will move towards being more of a leader. And thank you very much for your time and happy closings.